Are you a take action person or a let's wait and see person? I fall in the take action camp, and I can tell you that more than a few times it's gotten me into some trouble. Sometimes it's worked to my benefit, but there are times that it's been a problem. So I can relate to the Israelites in this one, and I have to say, if I had been down there, I would have been ready to take action as to what's going on with Moses and his 40-day disappearance. When I was going through this, I just started thinking about what is it that makes me always want to take action, and maybe a pause for myself is to recognize I'm thinking in a very short-term mindset where God is eternal. I've heard it said that we really overestimate what can happen in a year and underestimate what can happen in 10. And I think that if you think about God being eternal, 40 days is nothing. And we are freaking out over what's happening in our lives because it's not moving quickly enough. We don't have enough time. Tick, tick, tick. At least a person like me. Maybe weight people don't have that anxiety like I do, but that's how I feel. I always feel like I got to get moving. I've got things to do. It's not true. We can walk with God and wait on Him and see what He does, and I guarantee we're going to be in a much better position than if we go crazy and go ahead of Him. I can tell you that from personal experience. Again, you have to really be in relationship with Him and be listening and watching for Him, like we've talked about in other days, to know when to move. And when He says move, you gotta move immediately. But to go ahead of Him is just as dangerous as to not move with Him. The other thing that I think is really interesting in this passage is how the Levites separated themselves, and they did a very bloody thing. They went out and killed people within their brotherhood that were not honoring God. This is an incredible example of how God can work something to good that is bad. In the sacrifices that would be coming, personally, I can't imagine sacrificing animals every day. It's not something I could do. But with the Levites' history, He could turn that ability for going for the blood of something. This is the second time that Levites were framed that way in the Bible. He could turn it to good, and that is what He did. So all things can be turned to good for those who love God, and that is just very well represented with the Levites here. That's my big takeaways, and hope you had some too. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for coming today.